A love letter gets delivered to the wrong address, leading to strangers to begin writing to each other. Have you ever received a piece of mail that wasn't meant for you? Most of us would just scribble "return to sender" and pop it back in the mailbox without a second thought. But what if that piece of mail was a love letter? A real, handwritten, poured out your soul kind of love letter. That's exactly what happened to Alara one rainy Tuesday afternoon. She was sifting through the usual junk mail and bills when she saw it, a cream-colored envelope, slightly heavier than the rest, with her address, number 2 to 1B, written in elegant, looping cursive. But the name wasn't hers. It was addressed to a dearest Anya. Alara's first instinct was to do the right thing, to find the postman and correct the mistake. But curiosity, a powerful and often mischievous force, got the better of her. Who was Anya, and who was this person who loved her so dearly? The letter wasn't sealed perfectly, as if the sender was in a hurry, their emotions spilling over. Taking a deep breath, Alara gently slid her finger under the flap. The letter inside was written on matching paper, the ink slightly smudged in a few places, perhaps by a teardrop or a rain-splattered window. It began, "My dearest Anya, it feels like a lifetime since I last saw your smile. Every day without you is a book, with missing pages, a song without its melody." Alara sat down on her entryway bench, completely captivated. The writer, who signed off only as L, spoke of shared memories, dancing in the rain in a city square, late-night conversations that solved all the world's problems, the specific way Anya would crinkle her nose when she laughed. It was the most beautiful, heartfelt thing Alara had ever read. It was a love that felt epic, cinematic, the kind you only see in movies. But it was also clear that something had pulled them apart. L wrote of distance, of crossed wires and unspoken words, and a desperate hope to reconnect. The letter ended with a plea: "I'll be at our spot, the old oak tree by the river, this Saturday at sunset. I hope, with every fiber of my being, that you'll be there too." Ilara's heart ached, for Anya, who was missing this incredible declaration of love, and for L, who was pouring his heart out, waiting for a response that might never come. There was no return address on the envelope. No way to find the intended recipient. The post office would probably just discard it. This beautiful, vulnerable piece of a person's soul would be lost forever. Alara couldn't let that happen. She looked at the date. Saturday was just 3 days away. An idea, wild and impulsive, began to form in her mind. She couldn't just let Elle wait under that tree alone, his hope slowly dimming with the setting sun. She had to do something. So, she grabbed a pen and a piece of her own stationery, a simple, understated blue. She started to write. "To Elle," she began, her own handwriting, much neater, more structured than his. "I am not Anya." She paused, wondering if she should even continue. Was this crazy? Was she overstepping? But the thought of Elle's hopeful face turning to despair was too much to bear. She continued, "Your letter found its way to my address by mistake. It is, without a doubt, the most beautiful thing I have ever read. Your love for Anya is palpable. It leaps off the page. I don't know who Anya is, or why your letter came to me, but I couldn't bear the thought of it going unanswered." She explained the situation. The wrong address, the lack of a return one. She told him that she didn't want to give him false hope, but she also didn't want him to think his words had fallen into a void. She wrote, "Your letter made a stranger feel a little less alone in the world today. It reminded me that love like yours exists. For that, I thank you." And then, she made a suggestion. "I don't know your story, or what happened between you and Anya, but if, for whatever reason, she doesn't meet you on Saturday, perhaps you could leave a reply for me there, under the old oak tree. The girl from 2 to 1B who accidentally read your mail." She signed, "It, E." She felt a strange mix of nervousness and excitement as she folded the letter. On Saturday, just before sunset, Alara walked to the park by the river. She knew the oak tree Elle had mentioned. It was huge and ancient, its branches like gnarled arms reaching for the sky. From a safe distance, hidden behind a cluster of bushes, she watched. A man was there, his back to her, looking out over the water. He was tall, with a slightly anxious posture, constantly checking his watch. It had to be Elle. The sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant shades of orange and pink. The man, Elle, waited. He scanned the park, a hopeful look on his face each time someone approached, which then faded into disappointment. Alara's heart broke for him with every passing minute. Anya wasn't coming. As the last sliver of sun disappeared, He slumped his shoulders in defeat. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small folded piece of paper, the letter for Anand, tucked it into a hollow in the tree's trunk. Then, he turned and walked away, his figure a lonely silhouette against the darkening twilight. Elara waited until he was long gone before she approached the tree. Her hands trembled slightly as she retrieved the letter, but next to it, she found another note, folded neatly. A reply. For her. She hurried home, her heart pounding in her chest, and tore it open. To E. It read, "Thank you. I don't know what else to say. When I saw Anya wasn't there, a familiar kind of coldness started to set in. But then I remembered, your note might be here." Finding it was like a small light being switched on in a very dark room. "I'm glad my letter found a kind reader, even if it was the wrong one. Anya and it's complicated. We broke up 6 months ago. I moved away for a job, and the distance was too much. I was hoping, well, I was hoping for a movie moment. Clearly, life isn't a movie." He then went on to ask about her. "You said my letter made you feel less alone. I hope you don't mind me asking, but why? Who is E? The kind stranger from 2 to 1B. He signed it, Liam." And so it began. An exchange of letters, left in the hollow of the old oak tree. Elara would leave a letter on Tuesdays, and Liam would retrieve it and leave his reply on Wednesdays. They became the Tuesday girl and the Wednesday boy. They never described their appearances, never exchanged numbers. They just wrote. They wrote about everything and nothing. Liam wrote about his job as an architect, his love for old buildings, and his frustration with modern design. Elara, a librarian, wrote about the magic of stories, the funny things she overheard in the aisles, and her dream of one day writing her own book. They shared their pasts, their heartbreaks, their secret hopes for the future. Elara learned that Liam's relationship with Anya had been fiery but volatile. Liam learned that Elara had been in a long-term relationship that had fizzled out, leaving her feeling cautious and a little lost. Through their letters, they built a world for just the two of them, a world made of ink and paper, tucked away in the heart of an old oak tree. They were falling for each other, word by word, sentence by sentence. It was a strange, old-fashioned courtship, built on vulnerability and imagination. After 2 months of this, Liam left a different kind of note. E. This has been more than I ever could have expected. I feel like I know you better than anyone, yet I wouldn't recognize you if we passed on the street. I think it's time we changed that. But I'm scared. What if the reality doesn't live up to the fantasy we've built? Still, it's a risk I want to take. If you feel the same, meet me here this Saturday, at sunset, just like the first letter. But this time, the meeting is for you." Elara's heart did a somersault. This was it. She was terrified. What if he wasn't what she imagined? What if she wasn't what he imagined? Their connection was so pure, so perfect in its current form. Meeting in person could shatter it. She spent the next few days in a state of anxious excitement. She wrote her reply, a simple yes, and left it for him on Tuesday. When Saturday arrived, Elara felt more nervous than she had in her entire life. She changed her outfit 3 times before settling on a simple blue dress, a nod to her first letter. As she walked to the park, the setting sun casting a golden glow on everything, she saw him. He was standing under the oak tree, holding a single, wild daisy. He was tall, just as she'd imagined, with kind eyes that were scanning the crowd with a familiar, hopeful anxiety. She took a deep breath and started walking towards him. He saw her approaching, and a slow smile spread across his face, a smile of recognition, not of her face, but of her soul. As she got closer, he spoke, his voice just as warm and gentle as she had pictured it. "Elara," he asked, though it sounded more like a statement. She nodded, unable to speak, a huge smile blooming on her face. "I'm Liam," he said, holding out the daisy. "It's so good to finally meet you, Tuesday girl." She took the flower, her fingers brushing his. "You too, Wednesday boy," she whispered. And standing there, under the branches of the old oak tree that had become their secret keeper, their new story began, not with a lost letter, but with a found connection. Proving that sometimes, the wrong address can lead you to exactly where you were always meant to be. What started as a simple mistake, a letter delivered to the wrong door, blossomed into a beautiful and unexpected love story. It just goes to show that you never know where life will lead you. So keep your heart open to the unexpected. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this story with me. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.